There isn't a part in the manual where this is mentioned, Daban. The feet armor should have an extra couple of steps addressing the extra armor put onto the feet, which you didn't include. Please fix this, Daban. Oh, and there are a few more problems that we'll get to later. Hello everyone, this is Modeling with Variety, and today we're taking a look at a surprise that a lot saw coming but sure not me, the Full Armor Gundam Mark II. This is an amazing looking model that uses the same reworked Gundam Mark II that came with the Super Gundam, but instead of the G Defensor, comes with the full armor parts, which in this case is exclusive to the Daban model line, which is getting into territory that I don't want to kinda think about. But will this full-fledged Full Armor Gundam Mark II fulfill our needs? Let's take a closer look, shall we? Right, full disclosure. This is the 8817's Mark II and not the 8815's Mark II. That's the reason how I did this so quickly. There are no differences with the parts of the Mark II that was included with the Super Gundam, so rest assured that you're getting a whole Gundam Mark II, along with either the Super or the full armored versions. I also checked the plastic colors. There's nothing different with the molded plastic, so don't worry about that either. Anyway, let's get right into it. Looking around the box, you'd see the usual affair. A big number in the front, the scale of the model, and a warning label. Contrasting again the insides of the box, which are a lot of parts. The plastic feels a lot better than it was like pre-hammering of the company, but it is still the same when comparing to my previously reviewed models such as the Red Zeta or the Yagedoga. And it does come with all three types of plastic that Daban uses, such as PS, ABS, and the PC parts. There are some rubber parts too for what I'm assuming the full armor tubings, though I must say, with some of the full armor parts, they have some shallow molding and not as sharp as I'd like it to be. This may vary on your copy, but mine has a sort of a rounded edge on mostly the full armor parts. The decals are crushed of course, and my favorite snake tubing is included for the base Gundam Mark II. Quality control isn't good with these kinds of companies, so set your expectations at the level where these companies set their own quality control. And it even comes with a free stand. Think shop from where I ordered these bootlegs from. Alright, let's get it built up and see how it looks. Wow! Now that looks hefty. Man, I just really love how this looks. Though having a slightly different aesthetic to the original line art, but this seems to take notes from the Gundam Fix Figuration or the Ka signature robot Damashi, which can be seen prominently on the color scheme of the MS with a sort of bluish gray with most of the full armor parts, and can be seen as well on the head design of the MS. But where this design shines is that, from the ground up, all of these parts are new. No Bandai counterparts here other than the figures. All the parts that you're seeing are totally new from the ground up, just like the previously reviewed Super Gundam. But maybe except for the original Mark II frame though. But anyway, the look overall for me is super positive. How it was built though, well, the Mark II is the same and totally solid, but everything else, not so much. The biggest problem with this model is how these full armor parts connect to the existing armor parts of the Mark II. Some connections are solid, such as the shoulders and the knees, but the others just need glue to make them secure for display and play. Examples of these are the chest armor, a shame, and the shin armor parts of the leg. They're both connected by PVA glue at the moment. And there are some issues with the fitting as per usual with the bootleg model kit company. Example of these can be found on the full armor parts on the arms and on the twin beam cannon on the opposite side of the MS. So even though that the base Gundam Mark II is totally solid and fine, unlike the G Defensor, the full armor parts makes the MS, in my opinion, kind of less desirable when compared to how solid the G Defensor feels just out of the box. Of course, you could dab a little bit of super glue on the parts and everything would have solid connections, but the point is, you still have to do that. I'm basing this on a standard that Bandai had set for most of their model kits where you don't need to use glue or maybe even snips to just build their model kits. Just follow the instructions and you'll get what you pay for. And the 8815 doesn't fulfill that here. The full armor parts, while great, feels like a totally tacked on thing. Or maybe even a resin kit, which this totally feels like. So yeah, couple that with a bootlegging company and their quality control, you get a kit that looks great, but has little too many minor inconveniences that make the build of the model kind of lackluster when it comes to the build experience. But, just like the Red Zeta, it does look extremely impressive. Let's move on to the articulation and accessories. The head is limited because of the head Vulcan parts, but it can move a bit. The shoulder can't really go up that far because of the head banging into the inner torso joint of the Mark II base. The arm can go around the joint 360, and it could only go up that far. Rotate at the bicep, double jointed elbows, an opening missile compartment on the left arm, and on the right, a twin beam cannon. The hands are the same with the base Mark II. This shoulder shield has two joints and lets it do this much articulation. The torso has no ab crunch, but what it does have is a swiveling waist joint. The skirts are locked in place because of the extra armor added on top of the base. The side skirts are connected to the calves of the MS via rubber tubing, which are alright, but them being so stiff that they make the part just pop off sometimes and maybe even explode if you're not careful when you build these. Since it has the base of the Gundam Mark II 2.0, it has the swinging hip joint, but because of the rubber tubing, it doesn't feel as nice. The leg couldn't rotate at the top 360 because of that rubber tubing, but it can now. A beautiful double jointed knee, but is limited because of the extra armor, and again the rubber tubing. The foot is the same with the normal Mark II, but with extra armor. There are extra fins on the back of the leg and on the shoulders, which on the shoulders I also glued with PVA glue. And any other accessory that the Daban Mark II came with, the bazooka, Mark II beam rifle, the ammo pack, and the base all come with this kit. And they all have the same colors, which is neat. So if you want just the Mark II, you could buy just what's cheaper on the market and then sell off the extra parts, or just have them as cool extras for your kit. And if you have the 8817, you could put the G Defensor on the back and use the long rifle that comes with it. This kit looks absolutely bonkers to look at when you have those on. But I didn't really bother with the long rifle because I think there's too much on it already. And yeah, I think that's about it. Overall, I love this model kit, but I can't recommend it for a lot of people. While it is the only model kit form of the full armor Gundam Mark II, the full armor parts of it seem to be just a little bit tacked on, and that might turn off a lot of people. While it can be fixed with super glue, like how you treat a resin upgrade kit, Some people just don't want to bother with that. So, if you're in the market for one, I really do hope I gave you information that satisfies your curiosity. And I'd like to address a few things before I finish up. Comments on the Super Gundam said that you can put the bazooka cartridges on the side skirts. And they were right. You totally can. And the headset part of the Mark II also comes with the Super Gundam and can be attached on it. Thanks for these comments, guys, because I get to at least in some way patch the information that I've given out through my videos. I appreciate this a lot. And if you have liked my videos so far, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, please do. We're almost at 1,000 subs and who knows, I might do something special by then. And maybe even comment on what you think about this video, or heck, even your predictions as to what Daban might release next. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and or Instagram if you're so inclined, and yeah, thanks for watching.